The Forest of Still Waters, a tale of renewal. In the heart of a bustling city, nestled between towering buildings and endless streets, lived an artist named Mira. Her life was a whirl of deadlines, commissions, and the constant pressure to create. But lately, no matter how hard she tried, the blank canvas stared back at her like an enemy. The vibrant colors she once painted with seemed to dull. The ideas that used to flow effortlessly now trickled like drops from a dried-up well. Each failure to capture her inspiration tightened the knot of tension in her chest. Every night, the hum of the city outside her window would make sleep impossible, her mind racing with thoughts of unfinished work and impending obligations. Her hands trembled with anxiety, and her heart often felt like it would burst from the pressure. She had tried everything to cope: deep breaths, distractions, even more work, but nothing eased the heaviness inside her. One late afternoon, after a particularly grueling day, she decided to escape the suffocating walls of her studio. Without a destination in mind, she walked until the city gave way to a small, forgotten park on its outskirts. It was a place she had never noticed before, a thickly wooded area, with tall, ancient trees that seemed to bend toward each other, forming a canopy that blocked out the noise of the world beyond. Compelled by something she couldn't name, she entered. The air inside the park was different. Crisp and fragrant, it carried the scent of earth after rain. As she ventured deeper into the woods, the chaotic clamor of her thoughts began to soften, and for the first time in months, her mind felt a small measure of calm. She came upon a small clearing where a narrow stream cut through the earth, its water so still it mirrored the sky above. The silence here was profound, yet comforting. As Mira knelt by the edge of the stream, something strange happened. A ripple formed in the water, though the surface was undisturbed by wind or fish. From the ripple, a figure emerged, but it was no ordinary reflection. It was a young woman who looked like Mira but wore a serene expression, as if unburdened by the weight of the world. "Who are you?" Mira whispered, though she knew the answer deep in her soul. "I am you," the reflection said, smiling gently. "The you that has forgotten how to breathe, how to be still. You are drowning in the noise of the world, but there are currents beneath the surface that can carry you to calmer shores. You need only trust them." Mira stared, stunned by the calm in her reflection's eyes. "But how? Everything feels like it's falling apart. The more I try to escape the stress, the deeper I sink." The reflection's voice was soft, like the rustle of leaves in a breeze. "You cannot fight the river, but you can learn to float." At that moment, Mira noticed the trees around her, their roots intertwining deep below the earth, steady and unwavering despite the winds above. She saw the way the stream moved gently over the rocks, neither forcing its way nor standing still. There was a rhythm to the forest, a silent flow that mirrored the balance between action and surrender. As if understanding her thoughts, the reflection spoke again. "You've been trying to push your way through life, forcing solutions, when what you need is to surrender to the flow. There is strength in stillness, in allowing yourself to feel what is, instead of constantly striving to change it. Let the river carry you." Mira's heart softened, and for the first time in a long while, she allowed herself to relax fully. She closed her eyes, inhaling the rich scent of the forest, and exhaled a breath that felt like it had been trapped inside her for years. She sat by the stream for what felt like hours, simply listening to the forest, the gentle sway of the branches, the distant bird calls, and the murmur of water against stone. When she finally stood up to leave, she felt lighter, no longer as burdened by the pressures that had weighed her down. She hadn't solved all her problems, but something profound had shifted. She realized that her battle with stress wasn't about control or forcing things to happen. It was about finding peace in the space between effort and rest, about learning to float rather than drown. In the following days, when the pressures of her life resurfaced, Mira returned to the lessons of the forest. When the world outside grew too loud, she would retreat inward to the still waters of her mind, like the calm stream in the hidden park. There, she allowed herself the grace to rest and renew, trusting that the current would always carry her forward, no matter how rough the waters seemed on the surface. The blank canvases in her studio no longer mocked her. She approached them with quiet confidence, knowing that creativity flowed like the river, sometimes slow, sometimes rapid, but always moving, always carrying her where she needed to go. And from that place of inner calm, her art began to blossom once more.